I used to have a pretty good following, some viral hits, the personal brand content looked like it was actually working, 50,000 followers across all the platforms, and some content even popped off. But the truth, my bank account didn't reflect any of it. I was burnt out, exhausted from showing up everywhere, building in public, and chasing that next spike of validation that never turned into sustainable income. Until I flipped the script. I stopped trying to be the face of everything. What happened next? Well, it changed everything. Now I've built a UGC freelancing business that's taken me to net 45K months, US dollars, per month, consistently. I've had a gross month of 60K last month, just in July 2025. And I don't want to gloat about that, it's just to say that life can change on a sixpence. I lost my brother last year, which was horrific, but my business took off beyond my belief. I had news of my daughter last year, which was again taken us by surprise. And ever since that moment, my life had a roller coaster, but things have really paid off financially. And it's because I set up a UGC freelancing business. Without the guilt, the grind, or the constant fear of hearing crickets after every post. I remember the turmoil of thinking up a caption. My wife will tell me I was biting nails, I was anxious, and I was so perfectionistic about all the content that went out. Now that's changed forever because I'm constantly in a flywheel of delivery, helping other clients build their content flywheels, and instead separating myself from attaching myself personally to any outcomes. What as a result? My business boomed. And the best part, you don't need a fancy lighting system, pro equipment, a YouTube plaque, or 100,000 followers behind your name to make influencer level money in 2025. That era's over. In fact, there's a new type of content creator quietly making 6 figures a year and more behind the scenes, and you've probably never even heard of them, just like me. They're not on every podcast, they're not on viral TikToks, they're not flexing their morning routines, but they are making real money by building content for brands instead of themselves. And the craziest part, you can start doing this with just your phone, a little side hustle, and the right playbook. This is the UGC freelancer model. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to launch from scratch, where to get your first paying clients, and how to build a machine that feeds you new opportunities every single week. No fame required and all the bad nasties that come with it, no followers needed, no dancing required, I promise, just results. So let's start with what most people get wrong. Everyone thinks they need the perfect aesthetic, the best camera, a studio microphone, maybe even a team just to get started. That's a total lie. If you're a beginner, your job isn't to be different, it's to be available, to learn on the job, to figure it out as you go. Your first few clients aren't hiring you for your style, they're hiring you because they need content fast. And if you can help them get that done, with zero drama, zero ego, and zero overthinking, you win. Jobs first, style second, and I call this model the MVU model, the minimum viable UGC creator model. It's the same mindset that's built billion-dollar startups. You launch the simplest, scrappiest version possible. How I did this, I had a cheap $5 light. I had a camera that was a birthday present for a couple of years ago. I had a Sony a6400 birthday present, which makes me ahead of most people. That was a luck and a gift. But there was a kit lens on that. It was rubbish lighting. It didn't really do the job, but I still got paid well. And that there validated the fact that brands needed me. Then I improved my stuff. I continuously upgraded my equipment over time. Small businesses do it, smart marketers do it, and now so do UGC freelancers. You don't need to be polished, you just need to be present. Now, your entire job to do in phase 1 is just #get it done. Make things, deliver fast, prove you can solve a problem, and the refinement can come a bit later. So, how do you get jobs, you might be thinking? Where do I start, Josh? Well, now let's break this down into real actionable steps for you. First, you need to pick your tools. Do you need a RED camera? Nope. An iPhone and a tripod will take you far. Maybe a DJI Osmo kit, right? One of these kits here for a good microphone. Again, audio has proven time and time again to be more important than the actual visuals. So an iPhone shoots 4K these days, and a DJI Osmo set, right? But you can start with the basics. Then you can go into DSLR cameras, like I've got the Sony FX30 here and this FX3 in front of me, with Godox key lights on the back of my head and in front of me. You can go on YouTube tutorials anywhere to do a lighting setup, but you do not need it. This is my affirmation video for you here. Some of the best performing UGC content on the internet today is filmed in natural light with a window and on an iPhone. What matters more than the gear is how well you understand what you're shooting and who you're speaking to. Invest in good lighting, learn how to frame a shot, get clean audio. Those basics matter way more than a gimbal or an $800 lens. So start simple and upgrade later. Now, once you're set up, there are 3 core channels that will drive your revenue. So think of this as your trifecta: Upwork, Fiverr, and your own brand. But it doesn't need to be that way. I've done very well just through Fiverr and Upwork, so having your own website just to catch extra leads and some form fills definitely helps add the extra mile and credibility. So invest in a, again, minimum viable website. I pay $24 a month for Show It, and that's a basic templated website that my wife built. So shout out to my wife, who did a fantastic job there. But it shows off your work, why you. Again, kind of a pitch that I would highly recommend doing in a PDF as well. But these are the 3 engines that feed your pipeline. And yes, you can and should use all 3. Now, before you roll your eyes and assume, oh great, not another $5 gig on Fiverr, let's kill a myth real quick. Freelancer platforms are not just for cheap jobs, as I've said. They are marketplaces, and like any marketplace, how you show up determines what you attract. If you show up looking like a commodity, then yeah, of course, you'll be priced like one. But if you show up like a specialist, if your offer is positioned, your profile is dialed in, and your pitch speaks directly to a real business problem, then yeah, you can charge premium rates. Now, I charge at least $1,000 per video for ads. You might think, flipping heck, Josh, you're in the premium tier. I am. But I've earned it, right? My first ever gig was $600, and don't get me wrong, it was a fair bit of content, but it did prove the concept. Now, you must charge premium rates and sit on it consistently, because the platforms don't set your price, and you might feel like you're in a price war in comparison at the beginning, but don't. Your positioning does the talking. So let's start with Upwork. This is where most freelancers sleepwalk and blow their shot. Why? Because they write the same bland robotic proposals that everyone else is sending. And that's not how you win in Upwork. Upwork is an outreach platform, right? And it's a pitch-focused platform. You win by standing out in 10 seconds or less. You need a fire profile, I mean it, a punchy intro video that immediately builds trust. Now I'll quickly show you mine. This is outdated, this is a year old, but still does the job.
Hi, I'm Josh, your full stack video creator, actor, and spokesperson. In a world captivated by video, there's no better way to communicate your message, especially with someone who understands what works. As an influencer-led production.
Edited, not cheap. Okay, and it's my best work straight away. It shows you what I'm doing. Of course, I'm in video and I'm a spokesperson, I'm a UGC creator. I need to show that off very quickly. But a punchy intro video is everything. Even if you're camera shy, what you need to do is just get your personality out there and just be the face that's trusted, right? A bio that screams credibility, not fluff. Okay, I've iterated with AI as well. Okay, made it as human as I can, putting in some personality, of course. But think about it like this: promise, proof, personality. Okay. Here, as you can see mine, you're promised top reviews, right? You're promised top results, who I am. The credibility is smashed right in the middle here. You'll see what I deliver for other clients. And then the personality is in a few mentions of that actually sell, not snooze, right? It's saying that I'm a bit quirky and I like to make content that makes fun of things, and it's a bit interesting and more engaging. And the promise, time and time again, is delivered. Top quality in production value, in what I'm offering, and the promise of the results they'll see in the portfolio and proof in the pudding for that to happen. So your proposal is your audition. Think of it like this. So when you apply for a job, attach a short Loom video where you actually talk to the client like a real human. Show them you, and if you're unfamiliar with Loom, just click this attachment, go on the website, and it will come up with a full screen demo of you. Hello Josh. It'll be you in the corner. And what you'll do is attach your microphone, have your your camera to you, and 5 minutes of walking through your website. So I would have bespoke studios at the top, already loaded, already rocking, ready to go, okay? And this is like the pitch. I will literally walk through their proposal. I'll mirror back what they need, how I can help, then say, here's my work. And I'll walk them through my work, what I've achieved for brands. And this is a very good resource for me to walk through. And we'll walk through a couple of the videos, a couple of the results, and show them exactly what they can expect, okay? And that's all you're gonna do. You're gonna say, thanks, and book a call if you're ready, if we're a good fit. And in doing that, you show the client you're a human, right? And you're trusted, because there is definitely scams happening on these platforms which give them a bad rap. And it shows you're not a fraud. You know what you're talking about, and you can stand by your results, right? And it's your work. Because a lot of people do steal work as well. I've been in touch with some top marketing agencies, and they've said other people steal even watermarked work. Even my own work has been stolen. So be cautious of that, and be the fail-safe through the looms. Put the face to the video. And with the rise of AI, I've seen even platforms that auto-generate applications. So to cut through robots and AI-generated AI responses, you're gonna have to make this humanized. But it will work, and I highly recommend that Upwork comes first, Fiverr comes second, and your own brand is gonna be that foundation that keeps that solid rock for you to keep bouncing back to, and a website just as a portfolio space that you can use in pitches. That's it. And if a website's not in the picture for you, I highly recommend then getting yourself a proposal deck, which is just here. This is what I've created here. Let's open that up. Here's my proposal deck. Steal it if you want. It's literally, who am I? Top level. Again, they see results of what I built personally. My skills, what you can expect, what I deliver, right? And again, all the way through this, I will tailor it to them through a loom in the corner. What does working with you look like? What's the process? For me, it's ideation, creation, revision, or it's a bit more complex than that, but that comes next. These are the projects I worked on. This is outdated, by the way. This is an outdated proposal. But you go through the projects, what you've shown to work. And again, Upwork can be your first client to put your project in. If you don't have a first project, work for your friends for free. Work for a company for free. I mean it. Then get paid. Get yourself those testimonials, because they're highly important for these proposals. Then my work comes next. You can see some of that. And then finally, you'll see your reviews, future-proof. Word of mouth is the most powerful means to market, right? I've had many referrals come through off platform, and it's kept my business afloat. You are in the business of reputation when it comes to delivery, service delivery in UGC. So you must deliver like an absolute psychopath, but make sure your clients are hearing about the offer for referrals, incentivize referrals. But at the same sense, get reviews. Reviews are so important on Fiverr and Upwork, and the private reviews on both platforms have even harder weight, okay? So definitely follow up your clients if you've had a good response with them for those reviews, right? Show off your results again and again. It's just a high-level CEO summary at the end, why you trust me, okay? That's it. And if you don't have a website, a PDF is absolutely okay. I think Canva helps you create websites as well. My wife's done it and done a very good job with that as well. So if you've listened this far, give them a taste of what it's like to work with you. Then back it up with a portfolio deck, even if that portfolio is 2 spec videos you shot last weekend, right? That's fine. The trick isn't to be perfect here, it's to be confident and clear. Most clients don't care about your history. They care about your energy, that they trust you, right? So make them feel like you've already got the job handled. That's how you win. Why? Because clients trust you from the first touch point. You're not just closing a gig, you're building a long-term leverage here, especially on Upwork. That's exactly what happened with me and a client like BitGet. They came in for a one-off job, right? They found me for a one-off TikTok video, a quick deliverable, low risk on their side, but the content worked. They saw the quality and then they came back, right? And they've paid retainers up to 10K a month. You wouldn't believe it. Same thing with WPS Office. They tested me for 1 month. And then what happened later is that they did a test month and then that landed a 6-month retainer. It took me following up, but they came back and loved my work. So you have to deliver great work that's memorable and have an experience that they're going to go back to the office or their co-workers and fire marketing budget your way. Marketing budget, if not ever, is highly on social media advertising, and UGCs are top of mind for it because it's a highly effective means to market. Now, especially with a AI generated space now, with spokespeople that are AI generated, and even UGC being AI generated, you stand out being a human. And what you might be thinking, why would they do that? It's because they couldn't find anyone else who actually delivered what they needed. This is the real play. So think of it like this. The customer lifetime value is better than one-off wins, right? Like any relationship, dates are cool, but the relationship long-term and marrying someone is way more fulfilling and stabilizing for you as a business and a creator yourself. So look at the long game. Don't look at the quick buck. You don't need 100 clients to be successful. You need a few clients who come back again and again. And the way you get there, well, that's how you've got to position yourself like you've already solved the problem. Prove it early, then over-deliver. Now, let's talk Fiverr. Completely different game here. Let's hop on over. But it's a magnet for opportunity, right? You are the gig provider. You populate the website once and then it does all the work. Think of it like creating an online course that sells for you. Of course, you have to deliver. You have to deliver for the clients. But the marketing does itself. If you don't like sales and outreach, it's a lot of inbound traffic it creates. And I love inbound traffic. I hate outreach. I hate outbound. It's my least favorite thing. But inbound is where Fiverr thrives. But you need to know exactly what you're offering and what you already have proven to test. And that's where the MVC model really helps. Now, it's powerful when you play it right. So the secret with gigs is positioning. Your gigs need to be optimized for both the algorithm and the human eye. That means clear, benefit-first titles, custom thumbnails, and yes, another intro video. I know you might not like the idea.
Eye-catching, scroll-stopping short ads that convert and make edit.
But it's extremely important, right? It's short, sharp, and focused on outcomes, this one. When someone lands on your gig, they should immediately know what problem you solve and why they should trust you to solve it, right? Reviews are gold here too. If you hop down, again, the other day I had a bad review and it hurt my soul. Bad reviews aren't everything, okay? 1 3-star, that happened the other week. That was about pricing, which really hurt, but this client was a real bad fit at the beginning. I should have seen it. Another video on bad clients later on. But there's many great reviews that keep coming in. And that is extremely important. So when you begin, maybe work for family, not for free, but for a very low fee. Get them to start reviewing. Go to past clients, bring them on platform, and it's very much worth it. Even if Fiverr takes 20% cut, which they do, does feel a little bit cheeky, I do have to admit, but the long tail game is what you're playing here. Not one-off dating, as we said. You're playing long tail on freelancing platforms, and reviews are literally your bread and butter. They're your word of mouth and how you build a profile to compete. So at the beginning, be willing to start small, over deliver, get those 5 stars in, stack the social proof. And I highly recommend getting a Fiverr manager, success manager, right? Pay the $40 a month. It pays off. They help you from day one, set up gigs, optimize, and really get these things over the line. And that will move you up the search engine. That will. It will bring more eyeballs and more conversions for you. So now, while you're working on both platforms, you're also quietly building your own brand. Not to be famous, but to build leverage. What I'm doing today, right? I've taken a pause because I've been so busy on delivery, but that's a great problem to have. But here's what I mean about building a business-led brand, or something that's soul-focused, something you want to do. That's what this channel is going to be about. It's going to be helping you make money and just be soul-focused. It's going to be making content that's going to help you as a man, be a great dad, partner, what I want to be doing. When clients Google your name, what shows up? A blank page or a clean portfolio site with a few testimonials and samples. A few short videos on TikTok or Instagram that show you actually know what you're talking about. This doesn't have to be fancy, and that's what we're aiming to do here. But it does have to exist. In 2025, your online presence is your business card. People buy from people they can Google. Even one good content piece pinned to your profile can make the difference between a client ghosting you and a client paying you 2 to 10K a month. So create a little content about your process, something, anything, reviews, showcase, anything, even it could be your dog, but talk about working with brands, showing behind the scenes. People are buying you and not just your offer. And again, the more trust you build up front, the faster you close deals. Most clients have been burned before. Freelancers, they're relying on to just get the job done. They can pay whatever it takes. They've hired freelancers who ghosted, missed deadlines, vanished after the deposit hit, and they delivered work that looked nothing like the pitch. So when they meet you, their guard is up, right? And rightfully so. Your job is to reassure and lower that wall fast, to show them you're not here to waste their time and you empathize with their scenarios. And you're not here to just burn their budget, but actually produce results. So that means clear communication from day one. Highly recommend doing that. Clean delivery timelines. Make sure you're going to be abiding by that. Fast professional responses. And proof that you've done this before, even if it's just one client. You don't need a huge portfolio, you just need to be reliable. Because when a client feels safe with you, they stop hesitating and they start buying. Now let's talk gear one more time, because I know someone's still wondering, should I buy a camera now? Well, here's the truth. In the beginning, your gear doesn't matter nearly as much as your ability to solve problems for your clients. I remember relying on natural window light on the side, a $5 clip-on light I bought for a splash of color in the background, and no teleprompter. What I did was actually have a TV behind showing a script instead of a professional teleprompter like I have now. Now, it wasn't pretty, but guess what? I still had a client paying me $1.5K per month for consistent video content for a course. And funnily enough, when I was in flow with that work, I never had imposter syndrome. I have it a lot in places that I don't feel competent, but in this space, you have to be confident in what you're delivering as a natural human being. The gear is additional. It's a complement to who you are. But I do have to say, if you want to raise your rates in 6 months, for example, you must start saving. If I would tell myself 2 years ago, invest in gear straight away. A better mic, a proper lighting kit, a clean backdrop, maybe even a DSLR, right? Start with a Sony a6400 or the latest Sony. The FX30 was a great crop sensor camera for me to begin with, and then the FX3 was later on in life to have 2 camera setup. But these are multipliers. They help you stand out once you are already building momentum, but don't let them stop you from charging today. For UGC, it's about you and your delivery, and ultimately results in sales, and sometimes the most natural deliveries work still. So this is also something I wish someone had told me earlier, is don't compare yourself to other creators. This is a creative industry, yes. Learn from the market, study what's working, but the moment you start obsessing over someone else's numbers, style, or pricing, you're toast, man. You are. At the beginning, sure, look around for inspiration, but once momentum starts, stay in your lane. I've seen it firsthand when imposter syndrome kicked in, right? Comparison creeped up, like I felt it. And suddenly, I was questioning everything I've built. Am I doing enough? Am I charging enough? Am I got the right gigs? Have I hit the right spaces in this space? But this space does reward authenticity, not mimicry. So your style needs to come in as soon as possible, after the MVP stage has happened. Also, the UGC realm around price, quality, and offers is extremely open. So you'd be doing yourself a disservice to compare them early. Rates and offers are vastly different. Don't compare your apple to their pear. Now, let's talk about what happens when you start closing gigs and delivering great work. How do you scale? And I will show you here my exact numbers this month to show I'm not lying, just to show exactly where I'm at. I'm in a place now I need to have a different jurisdiction for tax because it hurts. See the numbers here? This is what I calculated. 61K gross. 38K, 33K, 30K, 20K, 45K, 23K gross, right? Look at the numbers. For independent clients, which came through these freelancing platforms, so don't sleep on them. And then look at these, 10K a month, 10K, and you'll see them side by side. Upwork has underperformed Fiverr for a little while now. That's from January 2025, okay? I like opening up the hood and just being honest about it because that is exactly the money you could be making, and I would never have imagined my life would be this different 3 years ago. I was broke, man. I was jumping paycheck to paycheck. My wife was earning more than me. It's changed the dynamic of our relationship, especially now we've got a daughter. I want her to be a full-time mum and me a full-time provider. And that's now happened. God, Thank the Lord. Without him, I wouldn't be here today. And children have helped me. Now, without me going off on one, I want to just mention, how do you scale this? Because at the time it was difficult, now I have, right? But how do you go from a few $100 to consistent? Let's go back to 2024 and 2025. Like, yeah, 15K a month, 7K. This is when it was dipping a bit. So you can see, but consistently it's done pretty well. But you'll see back in the day, things weren't so pretty. Still not bad. You come back here, uh-oh, Joshy boy. Throw out that lifeboat, that savior boy. But UGC kicked in and around early 2023. This, as you can see, is a linear progression almost. Now we're in dollars. And you can see that, look at that scale. 3 years that took to get from 4K a month to 61K. So how did I go from that to where I am today? Here's how. First, systemize. Every client should get the same onboarding form. Let me show you what I've got. Video project onboarding. Shows you're professional. It sets you apart, my guys. It sets you apart. Many responses here, but you'll just collect emails, make sure you do, just for your own space, right? Potentially when you scale further and you have an email list, you can reach out to old clients. That is usually one of the best pipelines to re-nurture old clients who are happy with your work. Definitely do that. But as you can see, they're questions about the goals, who your target audience is. If you have a script, let me know more. References and tone of voice when you're shooting, right? Whether it's pace, conversational, desired speaking pace, all these nuances, clients think, gosh, he's thought out every bloody detail. And that's what you want to show off. You don't want to overwhelm them. You want to show that this is going to take about 5 minutes. And as you can see, facial lighting, set design, outfits, what mics to have in frame, off frame. You can see the level of detail, right? What edit style they want. Again, I've got a team of editors who are fantastic. I would not be where I am without them. And French kiss to their work. The same process needs to happen. They get an onboarding form. They go through a sales process. You need to qualify the client, over a call or a few questions, finding out their budget, and ask, be direct, have a back spine. You're not wasting your time here. You're qualifying. And it saves your time and their time the sooner you are able to filter. And one no brings you closer to a yes, the cliche in sales, and it's true, okay? Be okay hearing no. And it's about eradicating the nice guy syndrome. We're not here to please everybody, guys. You're here to find your best match. And sometimes that requires you demanding standards. So imagine the same process, sending an onboarding form, separating yourself with professional speech. I had clients always feedback going, wow, you're a real pro with this. You're a professional. They've seen my proposal, they've seen my website, they've seen my work. I am no walk in the park, right? I take my work seriously. Because a lot of UGC creators don't take it seriously. It's the same touch points. I'm checking in, I'm getting their feedback, I'm getting their assets, understanding their brand, because that kind of experience equals trust, and trust equals reviews. And reviews, the key to consistent bookings and premium pricing on every freelance platform. The client experience flywheel. Promise realistic, deliver fast. And the big thing is never promise more than you can actually effectively execute quickly, because you create an expectation gap. And if you don't meet your client's expectations, then they're unhappy, essentially. So set expectations. Fast delivery and clear boundaries is instant credibility, I can tell you that much. Clients want quick, great work. So weekly check-ins allow that to happen, even if it's just one message saying, here's where we're at and here's what's next. This de-risks the process in the client's mind. Then we look at expectation management, right? Set timelines, deliverables, and revisions before they ask. Be the pro they wish every freelancer were. And ask for reviews strategically. Right after you've delivered, when they're thrilled and warm and excited, keep it very easy. Something like this. If you're happy, I'd love if you could drop a quick review. It helps me keep working with amazing clients like you, and it's very important for me. And I'd be willing to return the favor in order for you to connect with top talent too, because I know how difficult that is. There we go. Win-win. You see what they get and also what you have. Because on Upwork, Fiverr, and every other marketplace you know, your review score is your conversion rate. Sadly, it can own you. It can become part of your identity. And if you get a bad review, which I had the other day, often a flawless reputation, it hurts. So we can't allow those platforms to totally be our livelihood. We need to build up a backbone. And that's why having a website, building retainer clients, and taking them and off shipping them at a later date is very important. but this is a great kickstart. If these platforms can make you 60K gross a month, and I'm a bit of a unicorn in this space, so don't take it with a pinch of salt, there's no reason why you should sleep on this. Even if it's 10K on each platform, 20K a month is what I would have dreamed of, and I'm hoping to keep that for a little while now. Make the experience smooth and pro. Then, next, productize. Instead of quoting custom projects every single time, build standard offers. It helps. 3 UGC videos per month for $1,200. Now that's cleaner than it depends, or what's your budget? What can you afford? They need to know with certainty that you know how much this costs, and you don't need to over-explain your work. I've tried to do that many times. I've nearly done that many times. Why clients compare you and say the other competitor did it much cheaper, and you go, well, I don't need to compete with these guys, but this is what you get with me. And you stay there. You put the full stop and don't need to explain or rescue them. And from that point, you optimize, right? So track what's working, where your best clients are coming from, and what type of content performs best, what gear actually moves the needle, and double down on that. What kind of content and positioning brings you the best ROI? From my experience, is SaaS, tech, DTC to some extent, and they're the top industries for me. But I needed to walk the walk enough to stand by working with top tier clients. That took time. And once you've got a repeatable system and steady income, you can start running ads to scale. That might sound crazy, but think about it like this. If every $200 you spend on ads brings you $1,000 in clients or an order, why wouldn't you do that all day? I do this day to day with Fiverr ads, right? Where clients are already warm in a buyer-ready position in a funnel. And it's driving 6x ROAS, and as you've seen earlier, it drives almost 10x ROAS if positioned right. But I didn't just throw money at it, right? I optimized my offer, dialed in my gig, and validated this through real experience. Now, Upwork, the ads over there have been less effective, to be honest. Boosted proposals can be helpful in the early days, especially when you're trying to build traction, but features like the availability badge or profile boost and the boost your profile idea here, that's what I've been using, but honestly, pretty negligible in my experience. Hasn't really worked. So make sure to target founders, coaches, e-commerce brands, and anyone who's scaling and needs constant content, right? And I've told you, fintech, SaaS, DTC in your niche also works. Now here's a cheat code. Build a funnel that actually filters for high quality clients. Don't send them to a generic general homepage. Send them to a specific landing page with one offer, one call to action, and one goal to book a call or fill a form. From there, it's just about conversions and fulfillment. And I'm still working on this, right? I'm still trying to productize my offer so I can scale at large on LinkedIn, YouTube ads, and Meta. So you might see me soon. But I'm gonna be doing a video funnel bundle, which is just a learning experience from my offer. And that I know that that is high ticket sales. But you have your own flavor. I figured that out with lots of iteration and working on the job. So if you're still watching this, I really appreciate you, but you might be thinking if this actually works. And let me leave you with this. I know people right now, quiet freelancers, not influencers making 10K, 20K, even 30K a month, using this exact model. Not fame, no gimmicks, and you can see here, I'm not famous, but still making money way more than some of these influencers. I'm simply solving problems for brands at scale. You don't need a following, you need a system. You don't need to be loud, you need to be reliable. If you've got an iPhone, a Wi-Fi connection, and the willingness to get better with every single project, you've already got 90% of what you need. So if you're ready to start stacking real money as a UGC freelancer without selling your soul to the algorithm, now you know the play. Go execute and be spoke. Oh, and one last favor from you. And if this helped you or hit the hotspots in any way, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. It's going to be self-development and helping you on your freelancer journey, because the next videos we're going to be dropping are more gems, tutorials potentially from head to toe, how I make this business work, how you land UGC clients without showing your face, and build offers that scale and stack real income that's life-changing. It's made me become a better dad, more present husband, and way more confident husband that I could be a provider for generations to come potentially. And I want that for you too. I'm going to be documenting the journey, and I want you here around for that as well. Much love, thanks for your time, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Do comment below if you want anything specific that meets your needs, and I want to get real and raw and make this more consistent. Take care.